got a couple more months on you.
Yeah.
So what is one thing you really like about being a recruiter?
Just the fact that you'll be able to talk to what we call the civilian world about what we do in the United States Army. I mean, I really enjoy speaking with teenagers and young folks at schools and enlightening them on not only what the United States Army does, but what we can provide them in an educational standpoint and on just starting a new career. And my all-time thing is, there's a lot of people that believe that all we do is, you're going to get a gun and you're going to shoot or you're going to die. So to let them know that it is far beyond that, and we are a very, very important part to the United States as careers, not only just to protect the country, but as a career starter. And I think that's probably the best thing I enjoy.
This is First to Strike, the podcast of the United States Army Baton Rouge Recruiting Battalion. I'm Catherine O'Brien. The theme of this episode, the Army is an opportunity if you seize it. I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is you are about to hear a wide variety of opinions about the opportunity of the Army, information that we hope is useful for you to figure out if Army service is right for you. We've set up some questions or some topics, and a handful of soldiers are going to give their thoughtful answers. Here's the bad news. This is the final episode of Season 1. I know. We've loved bringing you this season of First to Strike. Stick around to the end. We'll give you a recap of all the episodes just in case you missed one. I'm pretty sure you haven't, but just in case. The show opened with Staff Sergeant Reynaldo Pena. I spoke to Staff Sergeant Pena with Staff Sergeant Stephen Gropp. These guys have some more to say about Army opportunity.
Absolutely, the Army is an opportunity because, just like Reynaldo said, it's not just about, picking up a gun, going to war, and doing whatever the case may be. As far as the education opportunities go, that's the opportunity because a lot of people, especially in today's day and age, you got to know your area. So in Alexandria, 58% of people are living in poverty. The average median income is $37,000 a year. So for these people that want to go to like LSU Baton Rouge, ULM, University of Louisiana Lafayette, University of Louisiana Monroe Tech, they can't afford it. So the Army is an opportunity to help them do that, whether they go active duty or reserves. And with the many programs that the Army offers, that's just more opportunities to capitalize on. So absolutely the Army is an opportunity in itself just to better your career and you as a person.
But as far as a person, it just lets you understand society as a whole in your mind, because a lot of soldiers, they're different. We're all coming from different walks of life. So for us to be able to go out in a society and understand that community, wherever the case may be, and be able to respond to them in a positive light, that's probably one of the best things that helps you develop as a soldier and as a person.
Especially when you have to obtain parental consent, because they can join at 17, but mom and dad have to sign, or whoever the legal guardian is. So the families play an intricate role in what we do, because it's not just about the soldiers, it's about getting in touch with their families and reaching them not on a business level, but on a personal level, and let we know we have the best interest of your child at heart. We want what's going to make them happy, what's going to make you happy, and everybody's on the same sheet of music. So you kind of have to have those interpersonal communication skills and be able to speak to the parents, because on some aspects they may be older than you, so you can't really quote unquote pull the wool over their eyes, so to speak. So you've got to be able to just be a person. You got to get them to look past the uniform and see you for who you really are.
Is Army service for everyone?
Absolutely not. It's really not. I mean, there's a lot of requirements that may even make them disqualified, and like a lot of people say, it's just not for them. I mean, less than 1% of the U.S. population joins the military, so I mean, for that to happen, it's really not for everyone. But for the ones that need the opportunity and would help in whatever they're going through, I mean, it's a great opportunity. I didn't think so at first. I thought, hey, I'll go to college and pay, I'll be fine. But it turned out, 12 years later myself, it turned out to be one of the best choices I ever made in my life. Soldiers are the number one thing. And to make sure that they're okay and their families are okay, that's the number one important thing, is taking care of the soldiers. And a mission standpoint, when they know that they trust you to be taken care of, then they'll train and work hard so they won't let you down. So when you go out there and you go in those scenarios and accomplish those missions, the training is there and it's where you want to be, to the standard. So it definitely molded me in who I am, yes.
Even if you don't consider joining the Army, I mean, at least here what an Army recruiter has to say, because you might hear something that you never thought you'd be able to, or something might just pique your interest. Like, oh, hey, that sounds cool. Or I didn't know that I could get my college paid for, or I didn't know that I could, still go to college, be a full-time student, and still serve in the Army Reserve. There's a piece of information for everybody, so just listen to it. Even if you don't care to join, at least listen to what's being said. You might pick on something you like. You never know.
Can the Army be a stepping stone? Up next, we have some soldiers who talk about the Army being a part of your overall life plan.
Well, the opportunities are great. Whether you just want to do your 4 years and then get out, it gives you such a good foundation for the rest of your life. You're setting yourself up with a good, at least, career pathway. You're setting yourself up with discipline, different opportunities within that career, and then also just a stepping stone. If you want to you can be able to go to college while you're active duty. And then also when you get out, you're going to have your GI Bill and benefits if you want to start your college career or finish it, because a lot of times by the end of that 4 years, you're almost done with your degree anyway. So if you get done with that aspect, and then also if you want to start your own business, a lot of veterans right now are doing entrepreneurship, and so that's a good way for them. If they want to start their own business, then they can. They have that avenue to help them out.
The best way to, describe it would be setting it up as it's a stepping stone for what you want. If you want to get in and you want to be complacent and live a life of mediocrity, then that's exactly what you're going to get out of it. If you're not going to take the steps forward to attend college while you're in, while it's paid for those that are in technical fields, if they're not going to get their certifications, if they're not going to go through the excess training, then they're going to live that life of mediocrity, and that's exactly what they're going to get out of it. If they join and they put forth that effort and they drive through things, because it's just like any other I don't want to say any other job, because the Army is more of a lifestyle than it is just a job. At least on the the leanest part of that would be a career. But you can use it as a stepping stone, or you can use it as a full-on career to retirement. But it's just if you're going to be mediocre, then that's what you're going to get out of it. If you're going to apply yourself, then you're going to get more out of it. I think most people by the age of 18 already have their ways, their characteristics, and their traits set into them. There are people that after that age do start to become excellent, just like anybody in the civilian world. You have people who ask anyone who's already been graduated from school 10 to 20 years and have gone back to their reunions and seen someone in high school, and then they actually went to college and they did good and they got this and they got that, or they went straight into the workforce and they found a trait that really worked for them. They ended up being a pipe hand offshore, and now they're an amazing pipe fitter / welder at the same time, doing inspections, making a lot of money. So there are those few, that anomaly that's in there, that's a low percent. But for the vast majority of them, if you're 17, 18, and you're already kind of set in your ways, that mindset's there. And I think you have a greater opportunity to change in the Army, because you're challenging yourself, because you're pursuing a path that's unknown. So when you stay in the same place, you go to the same place your friends are going, you're staying with that same birds of a feather flock together. Step outside and you challenge yourself outside of your comfort zone. That gives you that opportunity in the Army to be able to actually have a better chance at achieving whatever your measure of success or greatness or excellence is, because you will be outside of your comfort zone, so you will be challenged.
About being a recruiter, I like helping the kids out. I like helping them find direction, whether it be part-time, full-time, whichever they choose to do. Some of them want to go to college, they do the part-time route, and others want a full-time job and do college on their own time, so I was one of the stubborn ones, so I pretty much told my recruiter, it's not happening ever. And then I did 2 years of college and decided that, you know what, it might be an easier route, a more fun route to have a little bit more adventure in my life, and decided to go over and see the recruiter, same recruiter too. And
he's like, oh, you.
Yeah, and he's like, man, I would love to put you in. And I was like, let's go, man, let's do it. Because the cool thing about it was I got to do a job that kind of challenged me every day, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. So first job that I got was fixing satellite communications, radios, and I had no clue anything about it whatsoever. So I went into it thinking I couldn't do it, and they taught me how to do it, got recognized for it, and been successful ever since. So, and they haven't let me fail. So.
Oh, that's a good point. What kind of support when you're already in? Like, what's the ongoing support that somebody might receive?
What I like to tell everybody is you get networking out of it. So everybody's willing to help you out. If you're weak in a subject, somebody's really strong in it, you go get with them, and they're going to help you get strong in that subject, or they're going to help you mend your weaknesses. Yeah, and actually some people get it to just put it on their resume, so that way they do have a good start, so they have the experience to put on a resume. And I know a lot of my friends that were in satellite communications and so forth got great jobs when they got out, and they did 4 or 5 years. and just decided to get out and use that to help them, and they're very successful in their lives right now too. So I think it's a great start, and I wish I would have started it sooner, honestly. I wish I would have gave up the 2 years and went back, and then I'd be retired sooner too. 20 years, 39 years old is where I'm sitting right now. I would have been 37, retired.
Wow. That was Staff Sergeant Ryan Spinelli, Staff Sergeant Christian Latero, and Sergeant First Class Jason Manwarren. The Army can also be a career, and sometimes Army opportunity can be life-changing. Captain John Helmers has some thoughts about that. Here's Captain Helmers.
It's a golden ticket. It's a major opportunity. It's like once people join up, this is their golden ticket to completely change their life from what it was for generation to generation to generation. They can finally get that college education. They can finally move out of their hometown, see the country, see the world, be exposed to people elsewhere across, and you have that safety net because this is an organization, a family that really cares about its individuals, and that's just an opportunity that a lot of people are unaware of, and that's the message you got to put out there. Like, this is, that free ride. So I'm 175 pounds. I wasn't going to be an offensive lineman in college playing football. So that dream went out the window. So the Army was my opportunity, my way to get my education, my way to have a career. It's just a fantastic opportunity that it just, again, push the message out, and people eat it up once they know, because there's so much that they do not know.
There's a whole structure in place to help people succeed in the Army.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if once you're on a post, or even if you're a recruiter out like us living amongst the populace, you start running financial issues. That's no problem. We do Army emergency relief loans, and we can help bail people out. I've seen some former soldiers of mine. There were tens of thousands of dollars in debt, and they were able to clean slate, move on. You get hurt, hospitals are expensive. TRICARE is always there to help you out. You have any kind of personal issue, or the chain of command is there to support you. That's, non-commissioned officer's primary job, welfare soldiers. And just there's always someone above you looking out for you, always having that buddy, that big brother, that father. There's always someone there who cares about you, who's watching out for you. And they, direct you which way to go, and there's always a mentor along the way. And that support system is just, it's so crucial, and it's so important, and it's just something that really makes this organization great, that stands them away from other corporations or companies. So once these applicants enlist, they become future soldiers, and they can stay with us for up to 12 months. So a lot of times we have high school seniors. We do have people who show up, right off the street ready to go, and they sign up 2 weeks later. They're at basic training. So if you're with us for a year, every center generally, recruiting center will have training once a week, like every Thursday, and they get all their people together, and they'll go over like the soldier's creed. What is our rank structure like? Do a little bit of physical activity. Just kind of help prepare them for basic training, get that mindset right, because people, when they think about the military, is always so physical. They think of the Army Rangers, the Green Berets, but it's so much more than that. It's all mental, just that mental preparation. And then once a quarter, we get the whole company together, and we try to get 100 or so future soldiers and have a big competition, kind of show them what the Army's about, and show them that family structure that we're creating for them, and they kind of get to see it and get a lot more buy-in, and it's a great way to get our future soldiers motivated and get them to basic training. Again, it's all about family too. As our brigade commander put it so eloquently, we recruit individuals, we enlist families. And so we got to get that family buy-in. So we love when people bring their boyfriend, girlfriend, brother, sister, mother, father, and it's great having that, that sideline to sit there and they can see like their son and daughter doing all these great things. And that it dispels a lot of the issues maybe their primary influencers may have. Like, okay, this is an organization that cares about my loved one and will help them along the way. I would say it is. It's a mind thing. If you want to be part of a team, if you're just willing to buy into something and say yes, and put that first foot forward, and that's the hardest part, is just putting your right hand up and swear to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Because once you do that, it's so easy. Because there's always someone there who's going to help you along the way, train you, continue to get better. And these are things that anybody can do. It really is. It's not as physically demanding as everyone thinks it is in their mind. Like, we prepare you to do these things. We can take anyone off the street, give us 3.5 months with them, and they're ready to go. I would say it's for everybody. If you meet that mental, physical requirement, absolutely.
Speaking of mindset, Staff Sergeant Zachary Smith comes from a military family and talks about mindset, but also the practical step of having a plan. After Staff Sergeant Smith, we get to hear from Sergeant First Class Levester Smith, and he gets real about confidence, really building confidence as a skill.
And that kind of helps us out a little bit. Absolutely, 100%. I come from a military family myself, so as soon as one person is joined, I think it changes the mindset of the military in everybody's minds. If the parents are supportive of what the individual wants to do, then they're going to stay supportive. All you really have to do is reassure the parent that you're not the person, you're not the car salesman on commission trying to take advantage of somebody. Our job out there is just to get the information to them, and like I said, the parents are the ones who really want to have the information. So the easiest thing that I've found is just talking to people about the jobs in the Army and making sure that they know that you're signing for a job. You're yes, there is the potential for danger, and when it comes to that, you do accept inherent risks. But you're signing for a job, and not necessarily the job. The job that you choose is your choice to choose it. You don't have to feel obligated to go into infantry. You don't have to feel obligated to go into special forces. It's whatever you want. If you want to be a truck driver, that's great. I will show you how you can become a truck driver. So I think that's kind of made it a little bit easier for a lot of people. Yes, I do see it as an opportunity, and it's got to be seen by them as that. It's not about how I see the Army. I'm the person who's delivering the message, but at the end of the day, if they can see the Army the way that I see the Army, then they'll see it that way as an opportunity as well, and I think that'll help things along. Specifically dealing with people that join from military families, I've seen, the honor, the pride that they talk about when it comes to that. That might be the reason they join at first, because it's just it's a family tradition. You just always do it, and then down the line they start opening their eyes to the different opportunities that they do have, and like, oh, you're telling me I can get my college paid for, or you're telling me that I can actually step up and become a lawyer, or step up and become a doctor, and the Army can help me with those things. A lot of times when it comes to those people who join for the tradition, the service to country reasons, they don't know that inherently when they start. So I think it really helps them out. It's just, what is your plan? Is it effective? And if it's not effective, what are you going to do to make it effective? And with the Army, your plan can become effective. Even for people transitioning out of the Army, say somebody came in for a 2-year, 3-year term, they have a career alumni program for people transitioning out that, it may be after 3 years of service, you realize that, hey, this isn't something I want to make a career out of. I'd like to use the benefits that I've earned. Well, that's what the career alumni program is for, so that they know on the way out how to build a resume, how to use their joint services transcript, and how to employ that at a different college to get credit for the skills that they have. I definitely think so. Honestly, I didn't know anything about the Green to Gold program or how I could be a part-time soldier and go to college and become an officer. And that's something I'm currently working on myself, going to school, getting my degree, and trying to enroll in the Green to Gold program. Specifically, I just knew that I wanted to join the Army when I was 18. I didn't know what else I really wanted to do. I didn't have a plan. So for me, I was an easy contract. I was the kid that you didn't have to work with. But had I known all that, my plan definitely would have changed, and I would have worked to get my degree sooner. Like, I'm 26 right now. I'm currently working on my associate's degree. I should have done it sooner, but I didn't really see the point. I didn't have a plan. So, one, knowing the Green to Gold program at a younger age. 2, knowing about the Army Reserve at a younger age. And 3, I wish that my recruiter had helped me with a plan when I was 18 and all that. Instead of just going with, oh, you want to join the Army? Okay, I can help you join the Army. And that's kind of what I take to the recruiting side too, is identifying, okay, you want to join the Army, why? Because yes, that's, that generally you, when you work with a recruiter, they're like, you assume that all the recruiter wants to do is put you in the Army. But at the end of the day, I kind of look at it from a different perspective, is how can I do this to benefit you in the long run, within the bounds of this is something you would want to do. I was surprised by it. When I was graduating high school, I knew I was going to join, so I didn't really have much of a plan other than that. But I'm surprised at how many people don't have a plan when they graduate. And not just that, I look back at the people I graduated with and look at circumstances there, and some of them hasn't changed at all. Like I have a good friend of mine who he's been working the same job, doing the same thing since we graduated high school. He was supposed to have an appointment with me the same day at the recruiting office, then just never went. But I can still look back at that and I see, okay, so this is where that plan would have taken me, and this is where my plan took me, and this is the other option that that is still out there for me. So,
From where do you live now?
One of the things that we do teach in basic training is your confidence, because you'll be amazed with a lot of things that's going on in the society today, how many kids don't have the confidence. So when you come to basic training, yes, one of the things we do, we break you down to get you rid of all of that negativity that you have in your system, in your life. In about 3 or 4 weeks, we build you back up. And the physical aspect of it is we build you back up with that as well. Because with today's generation, a lot of generation, they don't go outside too much. So when you take them from what they're normal and you take them outside, for the physical part, the mental part, everything, even the confidence, by the time you finish your 9 weeks, you're a whole different person, totally. You can go as far as you want to. The military is like an equal opportunity type job. And the way we tell you, all you have to do is be in the right place at the right time, in the right uniform, and follow instructions. And there's no limits to where you can go. I've had friends that have went up to highest rank that they can go, and they've graduated with master's degree. So you can continue
Serving and in earning a postgraduate degree. Going as far as you can. I love it. Okay, last one, and we get a little deep. Can serving in the Army broaden your horizons? Captain Matthew Blalosh has some thoughts.
I grew up in a pretty homogenous area, southwestern Pennsylvania. It's predominantly white. Everybody basically looks like me, sounds like me. I went to basic training at Fort Benning, Georgia. I was 20 years old. We had a couple of people in their mid-30s. One guy had a master's degree. Another one had a PhD. Another one was a stockbroker for a Fortune 500 company working on Wall Street, making high seven figures. And he had a bunch of his friends who died in the September 11th attacks, and he decided, okay, I want to do something else with my life. So he joined the Army as an infantryman. When I was a battery commander in Germany, I lived in Germany for 5 years. So, again, it opens the aperture. So the first, when I was a battery commander in Germany, we had multiple people from West Africa. I had 3 native Swahili speakers inside my battery. We had a British citizen who ended up who served in the British Army for a while and ended up joining the American Army. I mean, it's the amount of the variety of different people that I've met over the course of my military career has completely opened my eyes to basically how great this country is, because we have so many different people from so many different walks of life coming together with the ideal of just pursuing happiness, living their lives freely and pursuing happiness. That's the great idea of America. So.
Living our lives freely and pursuing happiness. That's the ideal of America. Can't get any better than that. If you have missed any First to Strike episode, you can catch them all on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, or any podcast app. All you have to do is search First to Strike. That's just the word first, T-O, strike, First to Strike. You'll find all the podcast episodes there. Episode 1 was Meeting Your Recruiters. It's a little bit like this episode. Episode 2 talks to some future soldiers, students who have made the decision to serve. Episode 3 was all about STEM and the perspective of a veteran. Episode 4 is all about jobs. I don't know if you've heard this. There's more than 150 jobs in the Army. Episode 5 is benefits and compensation. Episode 6, Army life, friends, family, moving, the straight story and all of that. And here we are at episode 7, The Army Can Be an Opportunity. After hearing all that's come before, we hope that you have more information so that you can make the right decision for you. Of course, you can always call 1-888-550-ARMY. That's 1-888-550-2769 and speak to a recruiter directly. My favorite option, of course, is going to goarmy.com, the website with everything that is anything about the Army. Thank you so much for listening. It's been a great season, and we'll see you next time on First to Strike.